Well, you just mentioned Manchester United. Let's go there, Jules, and talk about Paul Pogba's performance in their opening game of the season. Many saying it was the Pogba of the French national team.
Even with the French national team, I've never seen it. It's not that I've never seen it. He's never done 4 assists in the same game. And again, this is not the kind of assist that sometimes are being counted as I pass the ball to Craig and Craig has a shot from 30 yards and it goes in and it's a goal. And my pass is an assist. No, those 4 assists were stellar assists. They were either first-time assists with great vision, perfect weight on the ball at the right time as well, or they were just great movement from Pogba, and I think he was fantastic. We'd been told through the summer he's going to have a great season. He's happy to stay. I think he would have been happy to move, and there's still time, of course, if he wants. We know that the contract situation, just 1 year left on his contract, but he was fantastic. And of course, Leeds help because they're so open, they play so much, there's so much space for the opposition that it helps you. It won't be the same when you play against a team with 11 men behind the ball in the last 30 yards, but still I thought he was amazing, and I think it's a good omen. And just to finish on earlier with City, the big difference for me is that United, as we're talking about United, will be stronger than last year. Chelsea will be stronger than last year, and I think if City miss the start of the campaign, this time they might not be able to catch up with the others because the others will be much stronger than they were last season.
You can throw Liverpool into that as well, primarily because the injured players.
And Liverpool, yeah, of course.
Because the injured players are back, predominantly Van Dijk and Gomez have signed Kanate. Thiago full season. Yeah, the list goes on. But to go back to the Pogba, yeah, he was excellent. We talked about it at the weekend. I think it was on Saturday's show. We talked about the fact that, you know, let's revisit this in a couple of months, because I have no real interest in eulogising about one performance, because Paul Pogba was brought to Man United to do this week in, week out. I mentioned it at the weekend, like Kane, like Scholes, like Giggs, like all those players. And if he does that, then they're in a really good position. But that's still a big question mark. And that's, again, what Jill said is something we touched on at the weekend was, look, I think Man United would want to play Leeds every week. Because Leeds, they're exciting under Bielsa, but they need a slap around the back of the head and say, listen, sometimes you've got to try and do it a bit different. And when you're as open as that, and I feel like I'm repeating myself from Saturday, but when you play as open as that, and you have players of the skill set of Fernandes and Pogba who can pass the ball for fun, then that's what they're going to do. And so,
but you take
great performance, but I just want to see it over a couple of months from Pogba.
Agreed. You take that performance, but this is a Paul Pogba that's played more advanced than certainly we saw him last season at the very least, where at times Solskjaer played him more as a defensive midfielder than attacking than not. And this is where he found so much joy with Juventus. On that left-hand side of that midfield, playing more attacking, albeit Andrea Pirlo sitting behind him, but now you have Fred and McTominay. Play Paul Pogba closer to the front man. Play Paul Pogba closer to the attacking midfielder. On that left-hand side, I continue to believe that's where you get the most success from him. That's what you saw. And while, yes, he'll be judged over the course of a season, what a way to start.
You picked City to win the league this season. If they don't get Kane, are you concerned about that prediction?
I'm never concerned about my predictions because I couldn't give a stuff. But I would still have them as favourites. But because I'm not judging on one game, I judge the performance like everybody else, and it wasn't a good performance. It was slow, and it was predictable. And they have to put that right. But they have a manager who's generally always put that right. They've got players to come back. I would still have them as the favourites, but I think it'll be way more tricky. It's as simple as that. I think they're in more peril without a striker than they are if they get Kane. Because I was watching these balls come into the box, and I never felt that any City player really was going to get on the end of anything, and that's what they need.
I'm not that sure, and I tell you what Harry Kane, or a striker like Harry Kane, gives you: the ability to not play well and win games. That's what Harry Kane brings to City. For City to win this league, they have to play well for it seems like every single game between now and the end of the season. They just can't afford too many blips because of the others, as everybody's mentioned, and how much better they are.
And also, we can talk about the signing of Grealish, and we can talk about the potential signing of Kane. It comes back to one thing. When De Bruyne is out that side, it's not the same. And we saw when he came on in his short cameo, what he brings. and that's the position Jack Grealish is in now. That he's not at Aston Villa where his performances shine. This might sound strange, but even his performances at Man City might go unnoticed by other players superseding him. And everybody was saying to me, and I like Jack Grealish, but everybody said, well, people were saying, well, they don't have his kind of player because he beats people. Not does he? I don't really see him beating people that much. I see him taking the ball in tight areas and people have been tight to him and he maybe spins away from somebody in the middle of the park, but I don't see him beating people in the final third that some think that he does. And I don't really see that end product from him. 6 goals last year at Aston Villa is average at best.
It's Aston Villa.
It's all right.
It's
You
Aston
got
Villa.
Harry Kane to score the goals.
It's average at best, right? And so he's going to have to, and it's only one game, he's going to have to up his game as well. That's what I'm saying. So there's lots of questions out there and pressures on Guardiola because he's already spent big.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.